Hey everyone, today I want to talk about how companies can use the metaverse to enhance their branding and marketing. But first of all, what's the metaverse? Everyone is currently talking about the metaverse, but what's behind it? For me, the metaverse is something like a collection of virtual worlds where we can all join and interact and socialize with each other in a new interactive way, but also we can experience products and brands in new virtual spaces, so we don't need to longer stare on flat images of a website, for example. Instead, we can take a look at the brand of like a store, or we can wear the products and can pick up and 3D inspect the products to learn more about it in a fun and interactive way. And also, of course, we can meet new friends and people there and just socialize and have fun. But why is this important for brands? Catching the attention from people is very, very hard. And it will get harder all over the next years and stuff like that, because everyone is like fighting for your attention, basically, with clickbait headlines, with very colorful bright images, with red tint and stuff like that, everyone is fighting for your attention, and for companies it will get harder and harder to stand out from the crowds. But with, for example, interactive 3D experiences, you can keep people consuming your content. And let's say when a picture say like 1,000 words, a video game with, let's say, 30 pictures a second will say so many thousand words, you can just calculate that, and that's per second. And imagine the normal player will spend, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes in a game, and it's depend on like how interactive and fun your game was made, of course. But in this time they will learn so much more about your brand than you can say in 1,000 words or on a website, for example, or you can show with 100 pictures on your website. Or also it will say more about you and your company than any like video ever can do, basically. And that's the crazy thing everyone needs to understand, basically. Also, the trend is going in the virtual space. Nike moved in this virtual space, so they now sell like 50% of their products online, and that also was forced due to the COVID, but COVID also showed us how important it is to have a second virtual space to sell and demonstrate products, so that you are independent from your physical shop or exhibition, where you or your team need to stand like 7 hours a day or more. With virtual spaces, all this stuff can get outsourced, and like building it up will be a one-time thing. After that you can host events or stuff like that all over and all over again with the same procedures and stuff like that. It's like way less planning needed, and also less manpower needed, because you don't need to build up all the stuff all over again. And now I also collected like 4 key reasons why brands should prepare for the metaverse. The thing is, the metaverse is changing the way we live our everyday life, in my opinion, and that means that you can't afford not to reach customers there, because a simple website will soon don't catch the interests anymore, in my opinion. And the metaverse creates also a very different kind of relationship between brands and customers. This relationship is very different from the traditional customer relationship and is more individual and direct with the people. So people will build up a deep connection or relationship with a brand. They will get fans of a brand and will buy like everything which the brand will release and stuff like that, And once people build up this relationship to a company, for example Nike, because they already focusing on the metaverse and stuff like that. Let's say you are a shoe company. How you want to compete against Nike when they already have this deep connection to their community, because they have their own virtual space or their own metaverse? It's almost important, and that's why it's so important to be one of the first companies who actually use the benefits of the metaverse correctly. The metaverse also is not yet fully understood by most companies, in my opinion, so they don't know how it works or who uses it and why it's useful and what needs to get done to get started. But that's no problem actually, because I help many brands or companies to get the first step in the metaverse, so I will help there, of course, if you are now also interested to get your own store or own brand in the metaverse. The metaverse also is still in development. Companies that don't prepare will miss the opportunity to become early adopters, because creating those metaverse applications or games also in the normal case will take very, very long. I, for example, with my own framework and United, worked around a year on this specific metaverse. Of course, when we do cooperations and stuff like that, I can provide you the framework and the code which I created over a long time, so that you already have something to show to your people or to your investors and stuff like that. So like this, it's a drastically cut down of the time which is needed, but we still need to focus on your brand. We need to understand your brand so that we can implement it in the 3D virtual space, that we can build the level around it which people will explore, and that still takes some time. So it's important to prepare now to become one of the early adopters of it. And yeah, but let's talk about how do brands use the branding in the metaverse? Where are the benefits and what we can do? Let's say we have virtual stores or showrooms which allow your users to jump in new worlds, in your world, which you can create for them to explore your brand, and like this they can learn more about the brand itself or also products and services of your brand or your company. And like this you have your product, or you can present your product in a new interactive 3D space. They can get a look behind the scenes to build up trust for your brand, or you can also interact with your products and directly test them in the game, or you see how they work. And this is really good, especially for products which are a bit more complex for the users to understand, because many websites have a lot of text which you would need to read to understand how a product would work, but most people don't want to read so much text. Then many people make videos or something like that about how the product works, but like with this three-dimensional virtual space you can directly like show people how it works, so that they can try it out themselves, that they can learn how it works when they get the product shipped, for example. So this is of course much better, and will help them also to understand how everything works. And in virtual showrooms or virtual stores which allow customers to take, for example, tours of any room or facility, and so of course they can also interact with all types of objects in there. There's basically anything from a full catalog or industrial machinery to small tools or engineering processes is possible to do there or to present there in a new interactive way. And this can be used to visualize and interact with any type of product in 3D, from cars to fashion to jewelry, and also of course to digital NFT assets. Of course you can also do product demonstrations. Similar to the showroom, products and their features can get demonstrated and explained in 3D, making the experience to the actual store vanishingly small, except for the possible physical product. Also very interesting is that by 2021 virtual goods are estimated that more than $100 billion will be spent on virtual goods on gaming platforms alone. And this virtual spending presents tremendous opportunity for businesses to generate real money from virtual world goods. And that's the gaming industry alone. So there are no metaverse stuff involved, or also no like physical products which will get shipped and stuff like that, because that's the future in my opinion. But yeah. Also, you can of course do virtual photo shoots. When you flip through an IKEA catalog, for example, much of the photography you can see there is computer generated images like CGI. From furniture to entire interiors are all CGI renderings that has replaced like 75% of the photos in the care catalogs actually. But with VR and especially XR, it's also possible to display the products directly in your apartment. So let's say you have still the website and you can browse through the different products and stuff like that. But it's also possible for you when you found a couch, for example, which you really like, that you can interact with this couch and that you can place it in the real space to see if that fits with your furniture and style and like decorations and stuff like that in general. Also, of course, we can also realize product and sales trainings. Samsung already uses the Metaverse applications to present products in product demonstrations and sales trainings. And the cool thing here is once something like this is got built, it can get used multiple times inside the organization. Also, 3D data analytics are a very cool thing actually, which companies can use to collect more information about the user base and so that they can further optimize their products and services. Until now, companies can only collect 2D data. For example, on Instagram, Meta know exactly how long you watch an image or video, or also like which types of images you like or save. And in the Metaverse, they could analyze your walking paths in the 3D space. They can track how long you watch ads on billboards or products in the store. And those informations allows for real-time heat maps of global consumer behavior. Like this, you can of course further improve your products and services and optimize the layout of your stores in the long term. That, for example, when people, when you have a 3D store and people are always in front of the store or in the front space of the store, but don't go in the back part of the store, then of course your most or your best products should get placed in the front because there are most of the people. And like this, you can further optimize your store, which is not really possible in the real world, because there you can't really analyze where people are walking and stuff like that. It's very complicated to do there. Also, big car brands like Mercedes or also BMW are already using Unreal Engine for customizers for their cars. Like a 3D model of the car will get rendered in the cloud and gets projected in your web browser with pixel streaming, for example, so that you can configure and buy the cars later like this. And you can already, or like this, you can already see what you buy, and the customer experience of course will get enhanced, like because you can customize your car to your dreams, you can play around with all the different sliders and possibilities. And yeah, also what used to happen only on the respective corporate websites of BMW and Co. It is that they can work in the Metaverse at the interactive touch point, independent of the website. Also, gamified commerce is a very interesting thing actually. Balenciaga released their fall 2021 collection in form of a video game called Afterward. Like this, you can of course bring brands to life and you can easily tell stories around your products to make them more interesting and to also stay in the minds of the people and customers. Also, Louis Vuitton created a game where you can collect items to get more information about the brand itself. And Gucci had a cooperation with Roblox where the products got presented in a new virtual and interactive way. And like this, especially the younger generation directly learn more about the brand. And since it's an interactive approach here, you will stay in the minds of those younger people for a long term. You build up a relationship basically with them, so they will get fans. And once they have the money through their first job or whatever, or they saved some money, they will buy the first products or something like that, you know. And it's in general, you will keep in the minds of the people for a very long time, which is especially in the current time very hard to do with just like images or videos, but it's easily possible with 3D applications which are interactive, where you can actually tell a story and actually create a relationship to your customers, and all this is like fully automated basically. Shopify showed that 3D product inspection also drastically scaled the conversion rate of products, so they are focusing now on new technologies to showcase products in a new virtual way, and that's also something I already mentioned before in the last videos, but after I made some research I also found out now that there are also already big companies actually which trying the same stuff and have already success with it, and that's something very interesting to see in my opinion. So now you see those big brands who are already invested in the metaverse, and in my opinion it's just a matter of time until every big brand have their own virtual space to showcase their products. And when this happens, shops who only have a simple website or only a physical store in the real world will have a very hard time because their website don't stand out from the masses. And today everyone can simply make an online shop with WordPress, but no one can actually integrate a virtual shop which is interactive on a website. So if you now also would like to learn more about how those virtual shops can scale your business, then feel free to contact me over the links in the description, and I will take some time to help you individually to work out a plan how something like this can also work for your business, that you can scale your business and get more conversations, and for, also of course like people which are returning all over again, that you can kickstart your business actually, and all this of course for free. So just feel free to contact me over the links in the description. But let's move on to the next point, and that are the potential benefits of brands in the metaverse for the brand of course, but also for the customers in my opinion. So both will benefit from those things. The first thing I have on my list here is like a real-time customer support. A combination of human agents and also artificial intelligence like AI, supported by natural language processing technologies, enables instant responses from knowledge-based articles or experts who understand the context of each question asked. And imagine you would have a space where you can not only learn more about the products in a new and interactive way, but also, let's say you bought a product and have some issues or something like that. Currently it's the case that you need to call the company, and then you are in a hotline and you need to wait like 10 or 20 minutes just to talk to a real person. But in this metaverse applications, people could have like stands where real human agents are, but maybe also artificial intelligences are, that you directly have a real person actually where you can talk to, which will take care about your problems or issues. And this is also one thing which will drastically improve the relation you have to your customers, because the customers are happy, they will buy again because of this good support and service, and that's something you should not miss out. The next big thing is that you can actually build up emotional customer relationships, and the thing is, shopping is an experience that connects consumers with brands they love. E-commerce is a typical transactional rather than an emotional experience. With the metaverse you can build new and lasting relationships with your customers and create emotional touch points in the digital space as well, and that fully automated. Also you can create interactive content, like only 3% of content on the web is like actual interactive, meaning everything else is passive viewing, like photos, videos, or endless scrolling through websites and reading text and stuff like that. And interactive content enables exploration and independent exploration of interactive brand spaces. Everyone who experience or everyone who walk through an experience like this will have a different experience, because they walk along different paths around this space we created, or they find different secrets or pickups and all that stuff. Also, social e-commerce is something which is very, very interesting. It's magical, because shopping alone is the thing of the past. We all know it, we scroll through Amazon to find some new products and stuff like that alone, but in the real world, shopping with friends is magical. It makes so much more fun. And what happens when those friends are all over the world, online shopping becomes a group event and a shopping experience with high connectivity of this social group within the brand space. And also, of course, you can use it for your marketing. Like, for example, influencers can make events in your brand's space in the virtual world and invite their fans to also join. Like this, you can easily kickstart your business because all of the fans are also exploring your shop or your virtual world now because of this event with the influencers. Also, of course, we already talked a bit about it. You can do 3D product demonstrations from virtual try-ons for makeup, eyewear or jewelry to viewing products at home or in the office. 3D product views provide a deeper understanding of your products in the eyes of the customer. Also, visualized product catalogs are awesome because, like, for example, photo shoots are a thing of the past. Using virtual photo shoots, it will save money and it creates also endless possibilities, and you can also, of course, reuse it or like slightly modify it in the past. And it, of course, also allows you to instantly retake all product photos without having to set up the entire photo shooting again. And also, of course, there's one more thing, which is personalized one-to-many service. And with the advent of AI and avatars, you will be able to offer personalized services from a one-to-many model that feels like a one-to-one with the customer. And this is the ultimate in customer service of a global scale. Like this, you can easily scale your business, but the customer don't feel like that they are one of many people or something like that. You can still keep it in a way that it's like a very close one-to-one feeling for the customer, even if you work with thousands of people at the same time. And that's only possible through virtual spaces and through automated processes, which can create it, for example, in Metaverse applications. And these are just a few of the benefits you can leverage through the combined impact of XR and the Metaverse technologies to present your brand experiences to your customers in a whole new interactive way. But let's talk now a bit more about how are brands already preparing for the Metaverse. Brands need to prepare for the Metaverse by building deep relations with their customers and becoming more relevant to them with their corporate identity. And it's not longer enough to just create a website or app with your corporate design and hope that people will randomly stop by a brand. Brands need to build connections with their audience across all channels and mediums. For this to happen, you need deep insights to your brand and audience by having answers to the following questions. Are you present wherever your customers is? Do you understand how customers want to interact with your brands? And are you creating experiences that make the target audience feel like they are part of something bigger? Also, are you making sure your message is consistent across all those different touch points you have? And do you know what your customers care about? Where they can get reached, for example? Do you have a definition of how you want customers to perceive you? How do your products and services fit into a broader context of your customers' lives? And what added value can you offer your customers, for example, in the Metaverse? And those are all questions you should think about before you are thinking about entering the Metaverse or something like that. Of course, that's also something we can help you to find out in a free strategy call, because it's like overwhelming. It's so much stuff to do and also to plan to create your own Metaverse. But with us, you have your one-stop solution. Basically, you only have one contact person which will figure out everything with you and also, of course, help you to realize it. Like this, you don't need to think about all this stuff, and you, of course, also don't need to have any programming skills or something like that, because we will take care about everything. Also, of course, brands need to prepare because they can no longer ignore the metaverse. They need to think about how they interact with customers in the metaverse while being aware of the metaverse impact on society. Into the meta future and also much further in the future of the metaverse is exciting, especially for brands. Unimagined potentials are waiting to become the new normal. What is certain is that the metaverse is here to stay. Markets and marketing in general will have to follow this trend if they want to remain relevant in the future. And exactly what the future will look like, no one knows today. I also don't know that today. But I have my vision and I want to share that vision with you. And I'm very sure that something similar to this will happen in the near future. But what this future will be looking like for brands is something we as a Metaverse development agency will closely follow and help to shape. But now let's talk about why are Metaverse platforms important for brand managers. These platforms can be important for brand managers for two key reasons. First, depending on the product and company, the target group can already be reached very well on these metaverse platforms. For example, if you want to reach young target audience, you should look at platforms like Roblox, Fortnite, something like that, or the better way would be to create your own platform. But the pros of Roblox and Fortnite, for example, is of course that they already have daily users of 40 million users worldwide who spend an average of 2.6 hours a day on the platform. And imagine when people see your brand every day for 2 or 6 hours a day, they will be build up a very close to connection with your brand, of course. And the second thing is that these metaverse platforms are important because they can show where the metaverse vision is going. Only by gaining initial experience we can understand how a company or brand can stage itself on these platforms. Often a comparison with the advent of Web 2.0 or social media helps. Until then, communication was often still one-sided and many companies did not attach great importance to this development. Today, hardly any company can afford not to be present on those channels as well. We are already in the transformation from Web 2.0 in the new internet. What I mean with that is that it's already normal to have like Instagram, social media in general, but soon this will not be enough. And the next step will be the metaverse or virtual spaces where you can actually interact with your followers and audience. And the thing is here that many companies still don't know the possibilities they have with social media and ads, because the digitalization, especially in Germany, I guess where I live, is at some points very, very bad. And the thing is, when you or your company already don't care about social media, of course soon you will don't find or attract any customers in the future. That's the sad truth. And that's why it's so important to always take a look at the social media or like technical trends and stuff like that. One very, very important factor is that in the metaverse you don't just show your target group advertising. Who want to see advertising all the day? No one will play this game actually then when you only do advertising there. But instead of doing that, you will let them immerse themselves in the brand's worlds, which are well implemented. And this is marketing that also deserves the name brand experience. And that doesn't feel like advertising, but like an experience that can also be shared with friends. And what are the factors that are particularly important to consider in brand management when choosing metaverse platforms? One important aspect here is certainly the demographics. If you have a young tech-savvy target audience, you can certainly reach them better on these platforms today than others. In my eyes, however, it is also very important to have an authentic and fun brand experience, and if you create a virtual meeting zone to appeal to young people, they also need to understand what mechanics or visual aspects are important for that. So let's compare it to TikTok, for example, where in my eyes there are regularly videos produced by adults that are meant to appeal to teens. With that corresponding cringe factor, that's why it's also important not only want to understand this target group, but also to include them in the development process, that it don't get like cringe or something like that. Other factors are that you should not be neglected is that three-dimensionality or the avatarization of the metaverse, that is that we navigate it as a digital image of ourselves. This means that brand managers must also consider how an appearance in the metaverse should be designed. From a possible brand encounter zone to the appearance of personality of the avatars. This is precisely why, in my view, it is important to conduct initial small-scale experiments here in order to clarify precisely the questions about the target audience and stuff like that. And it's also why I think in this type of projects you should definitely work together with people who already built something like that for other companies before, who have experience in this metaverse environments. And the questions you should ask yourself is, how have companies implemented brand management in the metaverse so far, and how you could maybe also use that for your brands or for your company. And it's like not so relevant actually if those experiences are hosted from brands in Germany, or because everything's globally. And for example, like everything is like internationally. For example, Nike has opened a Nikeland on Roblox, which at the time of the interview had already attracted over 15 million visitors. But brands like Coca-Cola, Adidas, Gucci, Hyundai and also Carrefour are also represented on those metaverse platforms. But finally, a more general question regarding upon the metaverse. You almost get a bit of an impression that this is the solution par excellence when it comes to the customer centricity. Will it replace other channels like social media, blogs, forums, etc.? I'm not sure about it. Let me know it in the comments actually. But also, how should the metaverse be classified? That's of course not an easy question, but I think the answer to that will be seen in the future. However, I'm convinced that in an early phase we will certainly see different platforms which will increase in importance and which can play an important role in the context of omni-channel communication. And in the long term, however, I can well imagine that social media in particular will be replaced by the metaverse. However, there will be no clearly definable point in time, but rather a flowing process, And it will also be important to see how Meta deals with this. With Facebook and Instagram, the company is very strongly positioned in social media, and with Meta Horizon Worlds, the Meta launched its own virtual world in the USA and Canada this year, but which underlines the vision of moving from social media company to a metaverse company. And this is a very, very interesting step from them. But I guess they will also try to bring all those social media aspects in the metaverse later maybe. And if they don't do it, I will do it with my company. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video almost. If you now also saw the potential in the metaverse and you also want to know how something like this can also scale your business, you can easily apply for a free strategy session over the link in the description, or write me a mail to the mail you will also find there. Then we can schedule a free first discussion call where I will help you to find the right strategies for your brand to move in the metaverse, and I will help you to evaluate if it makes even sense to move. Because for some brands it maybe also don't make so much sense, but we will evolve that together and see if it makes sense and how you can do it, and we will create a step-by-step plan how something like this can work for your company as well. And all that, of course, completely free. But yeah, that's it for this video, and thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye.